on another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space, brought to you by the Fantasy Football Network with the Melon app. I'm accompanied by the Warden of the South, the big man himself, Fantasy Football big guy, Big E,
No
and our
doubt about
special guest today, OG in the game,
it. You know it,
Sacramento's finest, hard to start, JD Guccini. How you doing, brother?
Genie.
Man, I'm doing great, man. Proud to be here, man. Good looking for having a boy, man, on the safe place, man.
Hey, and on that note, let's get it started.
Let's do it, man.
Got me a little talk. Hey, shout out to Travis Scott and Cacti, black-owned seltzer.
That's what's up. I'm on that hen. I'm on that.
I'm gonna sip on that. If you guys are new to the show, we have the HBO special, Help a Brother Out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys don't know how far it goes. Tonight's episode, there's not a whole lot going on in free agency. The NFL draft hasn't happened yet. So we're going to talk about people who just not getting enough love. We each got one quarterback, two running backs, or I should say 5 skill players, because I don't have 2 running backs, 2 receivers and a tight end. Big guy, who you got as your quarterback that's not getting enough love right now? What's going on, Albert?
Yeah, Albert always shows love. Much love, Albert. For me, like I said, and it might be a little controversial, but I like Matty Ice for my quarterback. I look back at when they had Phillip Rivers and how he shined, and then nobody could do nothing with the bum that they had last year. I don't even know why the Commanders went out and got him, but I mean, I feel like Matty Ice with the O line, with the running back. He might not have as many, wide receivers, but I think Pittman ain't no slouch. And who knows, they might pick up somebody or draft somebody. So I feel like that he's getting no love. I don't like the contract. I didn't like the contract. I wouldn't have paid him that much. But, for the draft capital that they gave up for him and the line, I think he's going to shine this year. I really do.
What's your projection as far as QB? What you think?
I know
it's early.
It's early, but I'm thinking. With that line, I would say 10 to 12. 10 to 12. That's what I would say.
I ain't mad at that.
I ain't putting them up way up there, but
right.
Hey, I take a 10 to 12 quarterback.
Okay. What about you, JD?
Just to piggyback off with my dog, no pun intended. Shout out to my dog Piggy. You know what I mean?
Hey, shout out to him.
Just listen to a few of the quarterbacks that's going above Matty Ice, and tell me if you would rather have them as your QB1.
No doubt.
Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Tua, and Ryan Tannehill. Out of them ones that I name, is there anyone that you would rather have over Matty Ice right now?
Not for me.
No, everything.
Even though I said with Tua, you know what I'm saying? It's iffy,
Yeah.
Tua as a maybe.
Tua and Matty, just based on what Tua got around him, the skill possessions. But we don't know what the offensive line going to be like with Armstead acquired, in Miami. We know what the offensive line is in Indianapolis, and we know what the run game is in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? So, definitely. But my quarterback is going to be Russell Wilson, man. You know what I mean? As of right now, he going as – let me see. Let me pull my notes up. He going as a 92 player drafted, and all my ADPs is off of fucking Underdog Fantasy, which is a best ball league. So it's all paid league. So all these ADPs is, is paid. You know what I mean? So motherfuckers is paying to draft these players. You know what I mean? And then so Russell Wilson, he had a career low at 400 attempts last year. You know what I mean? Second lowest since his rookie year. 3,113 yards, which was his second lowest or career low. You know what I mean? And it just his last season was damn near all career lows except for 5 INTs, which was his second lowest. You know what I mean? So with him transitioning from Seattle to Denver with a way better offensive line, I'm not going to say way better wideouts, which Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy could be up there with DK and Tyler. You know what I mean? You got to remember Tim Patrick as well. You know what I mean? And then with Javonte Williams, which, the fantasy community right now is shooting Javonte Williams up damn near as the 1.12 here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, on the turn.
100%. You know what I mean? That 2-1, that 112, he might have the best cast around him on top of having career lows because of what they had in Seattle. So you put him in a better spot, and him going in the 8th round, which I think 12 or 92 and the 12 ain't nothing. It's like it's like the 8th round, bro.
Right.
You know, I ain't no math wizard or whatnot, but
that's a good value.
Going in the 8th round, and for him to have finished as a top 5 QB before, and with him not being able to fully cook the way that he want to cook and being limited to a run first offense, now here he comes with the coach from the OC from Green Bay, who's an offensive minded coach.
Right.
And you got a plethora of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. The where he finishes unlimited right now, bro. He can finish as a top 3 quarterback. He can finish as a top 5. Where he finished that last year, damn sure ain't gonna be where he finishes this year. And I know we still in April, but yet for him to be taken in the 8th round is disrespect, dog.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. My quarterback, I'm going with Dak Prescott. People forget 2 seasons ago before the injury, this man was on pace for crazy numbers. He was having an MVP year. He was QB1 before he went down. He's back another year strong. They did lose Cooper, but I mean Gallup is there, and Cooper tends to fade off towards the end of the season anyway. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got Gallup, you got Jarwin. He's someone
James
who's
Washington they picked up.
Right.
Come on. That's another,
James Washington is a nice little sleeper.
Yeah, Zeke, you got Zeke and I'm blanking on Tony P. So you got some receivers that can catch out of the backfield, and he's right now ranked as like QB 10, QB 11. He has upside to be like you said. He has perfect. You wouldn't be surprised if Dak was QB 5.
100%.
But yet, and that just speaks volumes of how deep the quarterback position is this season. Because I mean, you got Patrick, you got Allen, Hurts, Herbie, Burrow, Lamar, Kyler, Brady, Rodgers, Russ. Right. And then you got Matthew Stafford and Dak, and Dak is just like 10, 11. He could be number 5. He was number 1 up until before he broke his leg 2 seasons ago. So he's a guy who I think is not getting enough love. I know that position is super deep, but no one's talking about what's going on, Ball Guy. Thank you for joining us, brother.
What's up, baby?
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to the 4 Horsemen, Swami, and Flojo. But yeah, Dak is just someone who I think isn't getting no buzz whatsoever. Everyone's big on Deshaun Watson because he got Cooper, but it's still a run first offense over there under Stefanski. So, Big E, who's the running back that you got that's just not getting enough love, not getting talked about?
Well, I hated on this running back tons of times last year because I knew he wasn't ready, and I think that they showed it towards the end of the year. But I say Saquon Barkley is the one that I'm looking at people going to let them drop. I'm trying to find them in later rounds. I'm not going to try to jump, for him. But I feel like that, I was one of the people that was like, hey, Booker's getting all the run. Booker's getting all the run. Booker's making all the moves. But I think when they saw that they weren't going to have nothing that season, they're not going to the playoffs. Nothing's going to happen. I think they started giving Booker the run. And now he's out of town. They went ahead and got rid of him. So, I think they were saving Saquon, and I think it's going to be something similar to like Todd Gurley. When Todd Gurley was injured, had the ACL, and then he went out. Then the next year he wasn't too productive. And then he came back the year after that. It was a beast that everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? For a couple of years till he got, injured again. So he had some freak injuries. His ankle blew up. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy. But I'm definitely going with Saquon Barkley for me. If I can get him.
I like it. Get in there, Guccini. Who you got?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that pick at all. I got a share of Saquon in one of my dynasty leagues, but in redraft as of right now, he going as the 25th pick. Right outside of the second round. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Or if you getting Saquon coming off the injury in the second year, and you are able to get what he produced in his rookie year, the 1,400 yards, or 1,300 yards and the 400 yards receiving with 12 TDs, I think it was, and you getting that in the third round, the beginning of the third round.
Yeah,
right.
Man, you on your Aaron Judge, John Carlos Stanton, Mike Trout shit. You
Murderers Row
Mark right now in the third round. Hey, give me Saquon all day, and it's a third round pick, bro.
right.
Everything, you know what I mean. And
That's
you
right.
got Brian Daboll coming in from Buffalo,
Yeah.
who is the architect of Josh Allen in that Buffalo offense. You know, and I heard a stat today, you know, because I just be surfing through shit when I be at work, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, shout out to the city of Sacramento. They pay me to do a whole lot of nothing. You know what I mean? You know, everything. So I'll be,
Hey,
you know,
to the city of Sacramento.
to the city of Sacramento. They pay me to do a whole lot of nothing. Matter of fact, they pay me to do my motherfucking fantasy homework. But I seen a stat where it shows that wherever Brian Daboll has been as the OC, 20% of the pass plays go to the fucking RB. And we know that Saquon is a PPR back on top of who can give you 1,000 plus on the ground. So if I'm getting a healthy Saquon and they go get one of the top left tackles in the draft where they at like number 4 or number 5, which highly one of them is going to fall to them.
Right.
They're going to shore up the line. They're going to probably add another playmaker in the receiving game on top of what they got. That offense, I'm not saying it's going to take a significant leap, but it's going to take a leap, and Saquon is going to be one of the reasons why I do it.
That's
100%.
right. 100.
I'm definitely on the Saquon train this year, dog.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
100%.
Who you got as your RB?
Oh, I got Josh Jacobs, dog. I got a few notes for you.
Yeah.
I
like to hear
Josh
that.
Jacobs, you know, he had career lows in carries, yards, and it was in carries and yards, which his first 2 seasons as an NFL running back, he hit over 1,000 yards, right? But yet he had his second most rushing TDs this year, which was 9. But yet this is where he capped it off. He had a career high in 64 targets and 54 receptions with 348 yards. And coming into the league, we all thought of Josh Jacobs not being a PPR back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now with the addition to Devontae Adams and a healthy Darren Waller, and what his track record is already producing 1,000 yards on the ground, and with him showing his ability to catch the ball, and him being the 55th pick overall right now, which is like in the middle of the 4th, I think he can produce at a top 24 RB, which would be give me the 13th, between the 13th and 15th pick, or he can finish as the 13th or 15th running back, which is a high-end RB2.
Right.
Already. You know, especially if he's giving me 50-plus receptions with almost 400 yards on the ground, 9 TDs, and 1,000-plus on the ground. Right. You know, yards from scrimmage, that's almost 1,600 yards. Yep. Easily, and you get him in the middle of the 4th round. That's a steal.
A steal.
Where would you advise people to draft him?
I would let him
late 3rd, early 3rd?
No, I wouldn't take him early 3rd because you wouldn't have to. You know, unless you feel the way that I feel, you know what I mean? I would take a chance on getting especially if I pick at the beginning of the 1st, which I won't be picking until the end of the 2nd, early 3rd, and to double it up with a receiver and a running back. So if I was able to take C-Mac, JT, or Dalvin Cook with the top 3 picks and finish it up with maybe a Jacobs and maybe AJ Brown, 2 running backs with a number 1 wide receiver, you motherfucking right, I'll take it. But as of right now, he going in the middle of the 4th, you know what I mean? But yet ain't none of us drafting right now. This best ball ADP, when it comes August, you know what I mean, middle of August, beginning of September, you know, you might have to pay, you know, the beginning of the 4th, late 3rd. But I wouldn't be mad at that because the production is already there. And then you done added the best wide receiver in the game, in my part, to a top 3 tight end. And then you got Hunter Renfrow on the other side, you know what I mean? Come on, dog. And you
can't
got
put nobody
Josh McDaniels, dog.
Hey, Brian Edwards, too.
Edwards, and then you brought in Josh McDaniels, the offensive fucking coach.
Right. I don't know. I know they don't have I think they got rid of Drake. Does that Patriot approach strike a little bit of fear in your heart? Because they like to toss running backs in and out.
No, definitely.
He
but
should be the guy. He should be the guy. But we seen Damian Harris. He's the guy, and they don't give
Stevenson,
Ramondre the ball. Then Rex Burkhead gets some burn, and then
if they let Drake go, and if they don't take a running back, which they don't have a first and second pick because they gave that for Devontae, even a third round pick doesn't mean a third round running back doesn't mean it doesn't translate into a lot of carries. You know what I mean? Right. And then as the draft goes later on, and they do get somebody 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, not this year. Not this year.
I feel you. And he's a superior talent to anyone that they would probably get in the 3rd, 4th round. For me, I'm going with J.K. Dobbins. I know I keep saying I'm not going to bring him up no more, but the man is a dog. He should be fully healthy. It's a run-first offense. Devontae Freeman did work in filling in, and they got him off the street.
Yeah, they did.
I think Latavius Murray did work. It's a sound system. He's healthy. My only concern is Melvin Gordon, because right now you can get J.K. Dobbins in the 4th round, and he's someone who I think can be RB11, RB12 if he plays a full 17. Lamar healthy, that's only going to open up more for him. Right. I love J.K. Dobbins. I drafted him in almost every league, and it hurt me. It hurt me so that he went down with that injury. But J.K. Dobbins is someone who could be a great value, kind of similar to Josh Jacobs, a 4th round pick with RB11 to RB12, RB14, RB15 upside. That system is foolproof. You know what they do. They throw it to the seams to the tight end, and they run the hell out of the ball. And if Devontae Freeman at 37, the same age as me, he ain't 37, but he old, an old back can get it done and can be productive. Imagine what a 25-year-old running back that's healthy can do. So that's
so
what
crazy
I got
about that too. They didn't have Lamar Jackson, so teams was scheming for Huntley. You know what I mean? So if you got a Lamar Jackson with a JK right there, bro. Come on, dog. You don't know so, that RPO is deadly right there, bro. And JK he's an Ohio State alum, I think, right?
My bad. We got one of the OGs in here. We got one of the throne members. Guru Nation. What's going on, brother? How you doing? New Orleans. I know you're a New Orleans fan. I don't think you live in New Orleans though. New Orleans in the house. Who they anyway?
Stand up. Who they?
My bad to cut you off.
Who that? Stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
RB2. Who you got as your not getting enough love, underrated, under the radar? Big E. Who you got?
Well, it was funny when we had talked. I said I had Dobbins as well, so we all agree with Dobbins shining with Jackson. But I said, I had a slash MG3 because if they do pick him up, and he has 8 every year, you know what I'm saying? Everybody hates and says, okay, Williams gonna take the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Williams gonna do this, he gonna do that. And Melvin Gordon, like he ate. I mean, they split carries, but Melvin Gordon always eats. He always gets his. He might have a few games where he's off, but he'll give you 10, 15 fantasy points. He'll give you 20, So that's a guy that you need to watch. Definitely if you go, with Baltimore, if you go to Baltimore anyway.
That would be a nightmare for JK because I think Gordon had 230 touches. That's 230 vacant touches for Javonte. Gordon's going to get at least 180 in Baltimore with how aggressive they are with the run. I would hate for him to go to Baltimore as a Steelers fan and for fantasy purposes. Someone who's big on Dobbins, because I'm willing to take Dobbins late 3rd if I draft on the back end of the 1st.
Right. And if Dobbins is coming off of the injury, which that doesn't mean he's going to be 100%, then Melvin Gordon could eat, and he could eat into more carries. So
very true. Very true.
But it would save the wear and tear on Dobbins if he's not, if he starts the season, the preseason on the PUP list, You know what I mean?
Right.
He not getting in. And it's only 3 preseason games, right? As long as he don't go into the season on the PUP list, which he would have to sit out 6 games. Even if he do have to sit out the 6 games, that giving that knee all that time to heal, and you got an OG in Melvin MG3
get the job done,
getting the job done. And here comes JK, which they fighting because the AFC North on top of the AFC West in the whole AFC is the best 2 conferences from top to bottom.
Right.
100%. So you're gonna want J.K. Dobbins from week 10 all the way to 17.
Fresh.
And they're gonna be in the playoffs this year. That's for sure. The Ravens are gonna be in the playoffs this year. If not, they're gonna be fighting for one of the wild card spots.
That's everything. That's a fantasy football winner right there. You always look for the guy who's gonna kill at the end of the season.
100%, bro.
He definitely could be that guy.
One of them stashes you could put on that IR if he is on the PUP.
Right.
We got 2 IR spots. You know what I mean? Hopefully your team don't take too many more injuries like that to where you know what I mean? You stash him for a minute, boom, here he come.
Yeah.
Off in the wind.
Right.
He tore his knee. I want to say it was just before Labor Day weekend. He should be healthy. He should be ready to rock and roll.
That's what I feel.
But just on the off chance, I like that mindset. Someone stashed for this, kind of what I did with Michael Thomas this year. I drafted him in the 8th, 9th round. Was ready for him like mid-November. He just never came back. And just waste of an 8th round pick.
Hey, Guccini stashed McCaffrey. He wouldn't come off of him, man. I tried to trade him 100 times. Guccini dropped a hard ball
because I had Hubbard.
Yeah,
right. Whatever that name is on my mama. That's that super flex right there last year.
It was tough.
And I gave up the house because you had Nick Chubb. You traded him to Kev, I think.
Yep.
And then I got him from Kev. I gave up Miles Sanders, George Kittle, and Kareem Hunt for Nick Chubb to pair Nick Chubb with C-Mac. And I thought they was just going to take me all the way to the motherfucking promised land.
I thought so, too. I said, and I ended up, I traded Mike Davis and Chubb.
Yeah.
For Melvin Gordon and Delvin Cook. So I won. I feel like I won.
My man.
Definitely. So I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know about Cordero Patterson. Who did? But I mean,
nobody know about Cordero Patterson last year, big bro. My mama. That motherfucker finished like as a top 10 RB, bro.
Yes, sir.
That motherfucker only had like 600 yards on the ground, but he had like 600 receiving, but the motherfucker had like 12 TDs.
Yeah.
Off the wire. Didn't nobody draft no Cordero Patterson. That motherfucker was a wire pick.
Hey, and they brought him back. They brought him back. Hey, and he did it without Ridley there. He did it without Ridley there.
Oh my mama, bruh.
We're gonna have to talk about where we targeting him. Maybe we do a collaboration post or something.
100%, bruh.
He's an anomaly, bro, because I don't know where he going 3rd round, but I'm like, damn.
That's too rich for my motherfucking blood. I ain't gonna lie. And just like how we let off the show, though, bro, Matty Ice ain't there. You playing with a whole nother quarterback, which we haven't seen in the starting role since Tennessee. He's been in Oakland / LA or Las Vegas for the last 2 years playing the backup role. We haven't seen him in the starting role. We don't know what the fuck he finna do, bro.
Yeah.
You're right. Fair enough.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got as your RB2? That's not getting enough love, and that's getting disrespected.
So give me Leonard Fournette, bro. Leonard Fournette is he going as the 78th overall pick, which is I think the 6th round at the end of the 6th round, middle of the 6th round.
Oh,
but if you go,
damn,
look for real, big bro, and listen to this shit though, right?
I like these
rankings. We had 100, right? For real, 180 carries with 812 yards, which was his 2nd highest in his career, right? 4.5 yards a carry, which is his highest. Shout out to the ball guy. I'm fucking with James Conner too, though, bro.
Oh, yeah.
4.5 yards per carry, which is his highest, right? But here we go. The motherfucker had fucking 84 targets, 2nd highest, and 69 receptions, his 2nd highest, bro, with 450 yards on the ground, dog. Now, if he going in the middle of the 5th in the 6th round and you go straight 3 wide receivers and the tight end, and you're able to get him as your first RB on top of 3 receivers and a tight end or 3 receivers and a quarterback, and he's your first RB, this motherfucker, just like how I talked about Josh Jacobs giving you damn near a guaranteed stack on the ground and almost 500 yards in receiving yards, 50 receptions, bro, you can't lose, because by the time you get out the 3rd round, you're not getting no RBs that can hit for 1,000 yards and give you PPR value. Once you get close to the 5th, 6th, it's all PPR backs. You just swinging for the fence at that point in the draft.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if Fournette is going in the 5th, 6th round and he's got capability to give you 1,500 yards from scrimmage, 1,500 with 7, 8 TDs, bro, you're fucking winning, dog, as your first number 1 running back off the board when you then went 3 wide receivers, a tight end, or 3 wide receivers and a fucking QB. And you got action at getting one of the top QBs.
Yeah, fair enough. I love you, ball guy. I'm not a believer in James Conner. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I'm not buying it. I did a contract year. What did young Dolph say? Get paid, young, get paid. Hey, good. Hey, I'm glad he got paid. That man is a cancer survivor. He earned that check off last season. I don't see he's too touchdown dependent for me personally. Now, everyone has their price. Everyone has their price. Now, if his ADP is 2nd, 3rd round, and I can get him late 3rd, of course I'm a draft him.
Definitely. I agree with that.
I'm not a believer that he can repeat, that touchdown production, healthy Kyler. Does Kyler run more in the end zone? I'm kind of fading him. There's a lot more people I like in the area where he's being drafted. But if he falls, everybody has a price.
No, definitely. I agree with that. And my only thing is the rebuttal is that the Cardinals will want to save Kyler, and with James Conner producing the way that he produced and them letting Chase Edmonds go, it just depends on what they do in the draft. We all know that, they still got Eno Benjamin, which was like a 6th, 7th round pick. Even if they do go get a running back in the draft, you have to preserve Kyler, because Kyler, for the last 2 years, they start out 8-0, then he break down. You can't have him out there running the way that he do and the bullshit that he do. So you want to keep James Conner in the fold and let him earn them 3 years, $20 million that you just gave him. 100%, bro. You know what I mean? That's my only thing. But as in the first 2 rounds, with him finishing as the 5 overall RB, I can't do it. But yet, you know what I mean? If he's there at a bargain price, I'm jumping all over it, bro.
Yeah, you can't. At a certain point, you can't ignore
15 TDs. It's hard to repeat 15 TDs.
Maybe gets 10, 11. Maybe.
On my mind.
Big E, what you think about Pollard?
Hey,
thank you for chiming in, Albert. If you got more, give us some more, bro. You here every week.
Hey, I appreciate you. I think Pollard is the most explosive out of the 2 backs now, what it looks like to me. He's running kickoffs back. He'll catch a ball. Zeke will catch, but I don't know. Zeke don't like he wanted it anymore. He's not on my list anymore. I don't want, Ezekiel Elliott on my team, but I definitely would take Pollard in the later round. Right. I definitely would take Pollard in a later round, and that way I got Zeke. For real, he might get hurt. You never know what's going to happen. So, I'm a Pollard fan. I'm with Albert.
Just move though. If you passing on Zeke, which Zeke was a top 10 RB by point, overall points, but points per game, he wasn't.
That's it. Tell him, OG.
All the other running backs did. But if you were, and see, I drafted Zeke in one of my home leagues at number 4, right? And the boy behind me, shout out to my dog Aaron, he picked Zeke Pollard on the turnaround in like the 7th, 8th round, maybe the 9th round. And man, I tried the whole fucking year to get it, and he was not sending them to me. You know what I mean? Right. Zeke is a shell of what he is, but where his contract is, they gonna give him the touches, bro, and he gonna end up as a top 10 RB, but points per game, he's not gonna give it to you. But they say that he might have fucked something up in his leg or something to where he dropped off after week 6. But yet Zeke is 26 years old. You know what I mean? And if they can get off his contract, I bet you they would, bro.
They would.
They him like he's fucking Derrick Henry right now, bro.
Let's not forget that's the same O-line that Darren McFadden went 4,000. That's the same O-line that DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray on my mouth.
1,800 yards, and then priced himself out of a contract and ended up ended up walking
to Philly.
But that's not the same offensive line. They didn't lost a few. Freeze not there no more. They didn't lost a few quality linemen, and I don't think, for me, the price is just too much. I got burned by him in 2 out of 3 of my leagues. I actually traded. Shout out Jada Plug in the Pace League. I actually traded Jada Plug, Dalvin Cook, and I think I traded him Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, and Julio for Zeke, Mike Davis, and I can't remember. Maybe he gave me Chris Godwin in return. I can't. Oh, it was Allen Robinson. It was bad. It was bad. It was it was bad. But the thing is, he started off strong. He did fall. It was on a strong decline. If he's healthy, I don't know if he's got it. I'm not willing to pay the price to find out. I'm not using him on my first. There's too many talented players in the first and second round to take Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion.
That's right, bro.
Yeah. Where are we at? You already give us
in the timeshare though, and that's another thing. My bad to cut y'all off, but the running backs in the timeshare, we know it's a fucking timeshare, and you can't pay a premium on a running back that's in a timeshare. You can't do it, bro.
Even if he's getting that bread, it's a timeshare.
It's a time.
Howard has made it a timeshare.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
I like Eno as a deep sleeper. Did a lot with Little last year. Yeah, man. It don't matter which running back is in that system. No one talks about that. When Kenyon Drake was the guy, he performed well. He priced himself out and ended up in Las Vegas. Edmonds was doing well for a little bit. Connor's doing well. Benjamin. No one gives Cliff. Was it Kingsbury?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't get enough love for the production as far as fantasy wise that the running backs do in that Arizona Cardinals system. I mean, it don't matter. You put me back there, I'm going for 806 biscuits.
No
doubt. Let's get it.
Look,
just make sure you send them tickets, man. When you sign that contract, we gotta come out there, man.
I want to be in the building.
100%.
Even with Chase Edmonds though, it's like Chase Edmonds had to have another running back to, reach his potential. Every time somebody got hurt and he was the star and everybody was loaded up. I got a few trades off of Chase Edmonds because I believed, but I didn't believe fully. And he never panned out. He never was that RB1. It really surprised me that the Dolphins gave him that money.
But you know what though? Why you saying with the Dolphins? Who else they brought in? They brought in Mostert on top of Gaskets, so they don't believe he the motherfucker either, though,
that's
bro.
Right, that's right.
Hey, their mindset is one of y'all motherfuckers gonna be healthy.
Somebody gonna do it. We just don't know who.
We don't know who. Hey, week to week. It's most of the week.
Hey, every time I think of that is when the Dave Chappelle show, when the recommendations skit came.
Ron.
Rich, everybody got
Ashley
Larry. Everybody eating KFC, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Tron. Selling baby straight cash.
Straight cash on my mama.
My bad. I lost where we was at. You gave us Leonard Fournette?
Yep.
And I didn't have a second RB, so I did 3 wide receivers. I'm gonna go with the unpopular opinion, especially with my brother. Me and him been butting heads each week over this guy. I like Allen Robinson. I don't have 2. We were supposed to do, the criteria was 2 running backs, 2 receivers, but I got 1 running back and 3 receivers. I like Allen Robinson, man.
Right.
I saw what Robert Woods started to do before he went down. I saw what OBJ did playing opposite Cup from his time in Los Angeles all the way up to the Super Bowl and the first quarter of the Super Bowl. I think A-Rob is being disrespected right now. We know he's a dog, and he, for the first time in his career, he has a quarterback and an offensive-minded coach that can get the job done, can scheme him open, let alone athleticism to get open, because he just been raw off athleticism. Now he has a coach that can scheme for him, and he's the first time in his career he's the number 2 receiver. Not saying he's going to be a wide receiver 1, but I think he's going to be a strong wide receiver 2. I like Allen Robinson as maybe my wide receiver 16 overall.
Right. I think the same thing. I talked about how dirty he was in Chicago, and he has had some terrible quarterbacks. But at the same time, like you said, with the scheme, he fell into the right scheme. He fell into the perfect situation. And I think that even though, Kenny Galladay, he played like dirt last year. Got as many touchdowns as us.
He got as many touchdowns as the three of us combined.
He mud. And what I'm saying is that if you put Kenny Galladay on the Rams, he's going to shine like Robinson is going to shine. I mean, it's just he was with Stafford before. He already know. They already know. So, I mean, Stafford throws a nice ball. He does have a few Detroit tendencies.
Hey,
he always.
Hey, we seen it in an NFC Championship where he was trying to bless us with the game.
Yes, and
tried to bless us and we couldn't capitalize.
Jaquaski Tart, who is that?
Yeah, Pop Tart, my dog Jay Tart.
Hey, you can take the quarterback out of Detroit, but you can't take the Detroit out the quarterback.
You got to also remember.
Watch yourself. Look.
Right.
Hey, I gotta make sure Grandma ain't around. All right.
I know that. You already know what time it is.
But Stafford has also produced another top wide receiver in Megatron, who's also had astronomical numbers as a wide receiver. So for Cooper Kupp to have the astronomical numbers that he had as a wide receiver, and Megatron, he's had a Nate Burleson. Shout out to Nate Burleson, one of the hardest working man there is. No disrespect to him. A talent like Allen Robinson, if you go back to 2015, his rookie year, I think it was, this motherfucker hit for like 1,415 yards in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
With somebody that we know is a career backup right now. So if you put Allen Robinson next to a Van Jefferson, next to a Cooper Kupp, with a motherfucking Stafford, who was the number 1 high school recruit coming out of college, a number 1 pick in the NFL. Now that he done left Detroit in his first season, what the fuck he do? Come on, bro. And here it go right here. I'm looking at it right now. There it is.
Thank you, Albert. We appreciate it.
Shout out to Albert. He talking about he the number 182. But here goes a little bit more in context. Motherfuckers that's getting picked over Allen Robinson, Rashad Bateman, Chase Claypool, a fucking rookie who ain't even touched the field yet, and Garrett Wilson, Robert Woods, Kadarius Toney, and Jerry Jeudy as of right now. As of right now, I can't take nobody over Allen Robinson because he's in a better situation than them other 4 to 5 people that I just named.
Right. And if Kupp gets hurt, he turns into the number 1.
Right. For real.
Hey, he known to get hurt. No one's talking about that.
Right.
He get hurt every other year. Nobody talks about that.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. So, give me some share. Give me some. Oh, that's a hard one right there, bro.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
It is.
But I'll take Al Robinson
is one
for
of
the
my
value.
wide receivers that I'm about to talk about.
Me too.
For the value, I'll take Allen Robinson.
Fuck.
Because you're going to have to draft Cortland in the 4th, 5th.
Fuck.
If they both there,
why you do that right now, dog? You putting boys on the spot, bro.
I'm taking Cortland Sutton if they both there.
Fuck.
I don't think there's a wrong answer, to be honest.
If Russ gonna cook, then he got to cook for somebody.
Bruh, definitely. And Cortland Sutton, at his size, his speed, his motherfucking physical ability, is just like the boy over there in Seattle that has the same measurements.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he coming off his second year of the injury. So he should be fully healthy right now, bro.
Fully. That's definitely.
Fuck, I don't know who to pick, bro. Right now, I can't give you no answer
Hey,
now, Albert. I ain't gonna
we
lie,
got
bro.
we got 20 more minutes. We'll get your answer at the end of the show.
That's right.
Let's get your first receiver. We might have to speed this up just a little bit. I didn't think we was gonna have enough for a full show, but we having fun. That's what happens when you get your folks.
So
who's your
since we
first
were
wide
just talking
receiver,
about
Biggie?
Cortland Sutton, I'm not gonna go on him just based on he's already on the list. But give me Russell Gage, dog. You got Godwin. We don't know what point in the season he coming in at. You know what I mean? On next to having fucking Mike Evans, a Fournette that I just talked about. We don't know if Gronkowski coming back, but I'm pretty sure he gonna come back. You know what I mean? He just kicking back, doing Gronk things right now with the Gronk brother turning shit up, you know what I mean, living life. But, when you got a Russell Gage who came off of 94 targets and 66 receptions and 770 yards with 4 TDs with a bum-ass Atlanta team, which there wasn't no Calvin Ridley, and then the stats that I just read off, Fort Gage is damn near like his second best because the year before that he had Calvin Ridley on the opposite side of him where he had more receptions, more targets, more yards. You know what I mean? And now you're going to go play with the fucking GOAT with no AB. You got a Mike Evans. You know what I mean? And he's going as the 145th player pick, which is like in the 12th round. I can easily see myself going for him in the 10th round just based on the value and where he going to go play with the best quarterback there is, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who you got as your receiver?
Big name, you know what I mean? But yet, this is the type of moves that help you win your motherfucking championship, dog, is in these later fucking rounds.
That's true.
Yeah, he could be great trade bait, especially if something happens to Evans.
And I like the way he went with the lower wide receiver. So I'm gonna go with one of my lower ones. They saying it's going in the 8th round, and that's Robert Woods. And I feel like that with Robert Woods, he gets no respect. He was hurt, but he was getting drafted before Cooper Kupp. A lot of people don't even remember that last year.
Yeah.
And then you got him going to a situation where he has Tannehill, but you see AJ Brown got hurt majority of the season. And so did Julio. When Julio's gone, so AJ Brown is hurt possibly. And what does Robert Woods become? The number 1, and that's what you need. Those type of moves is what you need to win your championship. When you slip up on a number 1, or you hold that first waiver spot, and that running back gets hurt, and you go ahead and get that man. You know what I'm saying? That's what wins you these championships. So that's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel. I feel Robert Woods is going to be a steal. If I can get him in the 7th, I would.
I like it. I'm going to go to my next receiver, Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Not getting enough love. We know the upside in a perfect situation. He's wide receiver 1. I'm not saying that he's going to be wide receiver 1. He was going as a 3rd round pick last year. Never played. Never suited up. Well, he was going as a 3rd round before the injury. Before the surgery can't happen, and then he was going I think all 3 of my leagues he went 7th, 8th round. He's still a monster, still young. He got a quarterback that can actually push the ball down the field and doesn't have to check down for slants. He only ran slants because that's all that Drew Brees could throw. We seen that from Ben Roethlisberger last year. I think Michael Thomas 6th, 7th round as a strong flex play. You can go ahead and get your tight end, get your 3 running backs. Get your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Michael Thomas might be someone who is just slowly quiet on the radar. And because of possible suspension, they may not have Alvin Kamara for the first 2 to 4 games, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that because Mike T has also produced as the WR1 in back-to-back seasons.
Right.
I want to say he broke Marvin Harrison's reception record.
He holds the record.
150 receptions in the fucking season, dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's just that piggybacks on to my motherfucking running backs. If you give me somebody has performed consistently in the league and might have had an injury or whatever the case may be, and has a proven track record on producing at the top levels there is, and he's going in the 7th round.
Right.
Come on,
You can't pass that up, dog. And then you got to also remember before Jameis Winston got hurt last year, Jameis Winston wasn't turning the ball over. But yet, before he came to New Orleans, he was a 30-30 Jose Canseco-like type club. But the motherfucker threw for 5,100 yards, and Godwin and Mike Evans was top wide receivers, so he can produce.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Hey, yeah. Michael Thomas too. Everybody kind of sees him as a problem child. Like he just got the bag. You know, he's kind of laid back. But you know, and you know, AB does get into a lot of things. But he was getting drafted around the same time. What you saying? Michael Thomas was about a couple years ago, and you see he shined. So I don't see how you could sleep on Michael Thomas. I definitely would take him. I mean, if he was in there,
I think the value is there. Like you said, a proven track record, and you know, you let 2 injury seasons, you get him in the 7th, 8th round, and if he could be a strong wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1, you win it. You win.
That's right. That's right.
Winning, dog.
Who you got as your second as your wide receiver, Guccini?
It was Cortland Sutton. We spoke on him, you know, a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Him coming off the injury before last year, you know what I mean? So last year was his first year coming off the injury, you know what I mean? And playing with incapable. I ain't going to say Teddy Bridgewater was incapable, but yet
he was. You can call it what it is.
Oh, my mama. And sometimes Drew Lock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, you come with a Russell Wilson coming in as a, you know, as your QB, a proven track record, and you know what I mean. It's a whole lot for Russell Wilson to prove. It's a whole lot for Sutton to prove coming off the injury. He should be fully healthy this year. I got some stats, but I don't want to jump too far into it because we might be a little pressed against the time. But yet, Cortland Sutton was the fucking like in the 7th round, 8th round, I think it was. He can easily outproduce that ADP.
I like
ADP, excuse me. I'm
Who
on these joints right now.
You know, we all are, man. You know, we all are.
Shout out.
As the show goes on and on, you know, my tolerance starts to get lower and lower.
That's it. It's a safe space, baby. It's a safe space.
And we all gotta take a
shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. Shout out to the Melon app. Shout out to Big E, the Fantasy Football Big Guy. Shout out to JD Guccini. Hard to start. Shout out to JD and Sons. And shout out to the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference, man. Thank you guys.
Dog.
No doubt about it.
And y'all got to understand too, though, just about a month and a half ago, we was all in the same facility, bro.
Hey,
100%. You know, we might be in different boxes right now, but we was all in the same facility about 2 months ago, month and a half ago, and that shit was littered in a motherfucker, dog.
It was all love, and I love it.
100%, bro.
Gotta do it again. You asked me my second wide receiver. I'll say, and it's a little bit more up the board, but I'll say T. Higgins. For me, I said because of Jamar Chase, and everybody's going to be all on Jamar Chase, and let's double Jamar Chase. And they call, you know, Higgins the freak. You know what I'm saying? And you got Jamar Chase. You would think that they would be calling him that, but they call this man that. And he's shown, you know, that he can be a number 1. And I believe that they're going to be focused on Chase so much that they're going to be sleeping on him. And I think that he's going to be one of the steals of the draft.
You know, I'm. You know, I've been there right with you. Me and you've been talking about him and JK as in that 4th, 5th round,
right?
But could really, really beat up their ADP and finish as a 2nd round type of quality player. I'm with you. I got him in a trade. I acquired him in a trade. He was hurt. He came back. And I think he had 14 targets, 13 targets, 15 targets, and 11 targets.
Yeah, love it.
Receivers got to eat, man. It's running backs that's not getting double-digit touches. You know,
that's right.
So
that's right.
I think there's something to that, man. They just improved on the offensive line. I love it. I love it. I ain't gonna say his name. And Birdman, I ain't gonna say it no more. I'm tired.
Right.
I put some respect on his name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
And they got Jamar Chase as the number 2 overall wide receiver right now, bro.
Right.
I understand that's what he did in his rookie year, but if you remember what JJ did, Jefferson, what he did in his rookie year, but yet last year it wasn't what the rookie year was. you're going to hit a sophomore slump. You know what I mean? Not saying it's going to be a significant slump, but yet I can't pay the premium as Jamar Chase in that first round. I can't do it because, you're going to have your 7-8 running backs that's drafted in the first round. Then you might have Kelsey. Then you're going to have Kupp, Devontae Adams, which is my number one or wide receiver. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have a mixture of Jamar Chase and a little something else at the back of the end of the first round. I can't do it. So I would rather take T. Higgins, whether it's at the end of the second or the beginning of the third, what I mean, based on how high powered that offense is, but yet paying that premium for Jamar Chase and not knowing that he's going to give me that almost 1,500 yards that he did in his fucking rookie season. And we've seen in previous years where the sophomore wide receivers kind of regress a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right,
Higgins is his third year. You know what I mean? And T. Higgins
is proven.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm with you. Let's move on to tight ends. We got 10 minutes. Big E, get in there. What you got for us? Who is your someone who's not getting enough respect on his name, Playboy?
Ain't put no respect on the man's name. I feel like for me, I think that Ertz. I think Zach Ertz. With and I think D-Hop is gonna have a strong comeback here. Let me say that because he did have a lot of injuries and people sleeping on him. And you've seen the miraculous catches this man made. He's made. I mean, some of the catches. I mean, it's highlight reel catches. So I think he's gonna be back. And with him, shining and Kyler Murray running and throwing to other wide receivers. Who's the rookie? Moore.
Rondell. No Kirk.
Yeah, no Kirk. I think that it's going to be a possibility for Ertz to slip in there. And even if he's touchdown dependent, I think he's going to get those touchdowns. I think he really will. And so he's a tight end that if I don't get one of the top tier tight ends, I'm going for. So
I ain't mad
at it. Look for it.
I like it.
And it showed right when he came. I think he came right at the deadline of last year.
Right.
And from every game that he played in an Arizona uniform, his production got better. You know what I mean? It might not have translated into fantasy production, which there were some games that he did, but that was just because he was coming into a new system with a new quarterback. Here it is now. You got the whole offseason with Kyler on top of having one of the top 5 wide receivers in the game right now. You know what I mean? Zach Ertz is a fucking dog, bruh. Yeah. And they wouldn't have extended him if they didn't think something was there. Zach Ertz produced a whole hell of a lot last year coming into a new system. And we was thinking with him being in Philly, he was just a lost soul.
Yeah.
He got about a Philly and he showed what he was doing in Philly.
No doubt about it.
100%, bro. I ain't mad with the Zach Ertz pick, bro.
No, I love it.
No doubt.
So who you got as your underdog tight end?
So my underdog tight end is gonna be Irv Smith. You know what I mean? He didn't play the whole last year. You know what I mean? In 2020, he was on I think it was like 60 targets, 36 receptions, 3.
I don't know what happened. My bad. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch nothing. That's a first.
Good.
Exactly. Good. Hey, we spitting too many isms for him right now, man.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, algorithm.
That's what it is, man. We trying to bless people hard.
Hey, but go on.
Hey, shout out to Bogarts.
I like that greatness right now, man.
Yeah. They
shout
out
to the GMM network, man. Shout out to Bogarts.
Shout out to the motherfucking
universe. Give me money.
100%, man.
Spent too many dimes on here. Hey, but go ahead. What you were saying, Guccini?
My boy Irv Smith, though. You know what I mean? In 2020, in the COVID season, the motherfucker had like 60 targets, 36 receptions for like 350 yards, but the motherfucker had 5 TDs, right? So now Conklin is gone. He the number one tight end in that system where you got a JJ, you got a Thielen, you got Cook, but yet in the red zone where tight ends, if you're not the top 3 tight ends, is usually Waller, Kelsey, and Kittle that can get you the RAC, the rack, you know what I mean, on top of 100 receptions, 90 receptions. Your tight ends, other than them, is going to be Mark Andrews, my bad, You know what I mean? They
was going to say nothing.
My bad. They gonna kill, you know, in the red zone. So Irv Smith is one of them top red zone tight ends that's gonna kill, bruh. Coming off that injury in one of the most high powered offenses there is in the league, and he going as a tight end 18. So if you get him where he's drafted at right now, and this motherfucker give you 600-700 yards and 10 TDs, 8 TDs, you fucking win it, because 8 TDs, there's only 17 games. So every other game he might give you a TD, but yet he gonna give you 5 receptions. You know what I mean? So when you bang with the 5 and 1 TD, that's like 12 points for somebody that you got that ain't even being drafted because he's the tight end 18.
That's right. That's right. That's
Great.
How you win?
Great take. I'm gonna go with a guy who was, as you said, we go off proven stats. This guy was a top 5. I think he was actually tied in 3 before he got hurt and never quite bounced back. They had 2 departures. They lost Emmanuel Sanders and they lost Cole Beasley. Dawson's Creek, Knox, not getting enough love. They don't really have a running game. Now, this is the pre-underrated draft show, because they could draft a running back and be right back in their thing and have a balanced offense. But right now, Buffalo is one of the most pass-happy offenses in the league. It's only Diggs. Everyone's big on Diggs because there's no Emmanuel Sanders, there's no Cole Beasley. What about the tight end who was tight end 3 before he got hurt and missed 3-4 games?
That's right.
It could be. Now, for me, I always play 12-team leagues. 6 teams make the playoffs. So with that said, I always try to get a top 6 QB, and I always try to get a top 6 tight end. If I can't get Kels, Waller, Kittle, Andrews, Hockenson, or Pitts, I want Knox.
Yeah,
that's who I want. And that offense with the overall, we all agree overall QB1 is Josh Allen, back-to-back years.
100%.
Right now, yeah.
Why wouldn't you want his tight end? Especially if Singletary is the only back there.
And you know, the cool thing is, even I seen a mock draft with them going to go get Brees. Mm-hmm. I think even if they go get Brees or they invest in any other running back, the pass is still going to be the first option on all 3 downs. Yep. Whether what the distance is and the down and the distance is, I still think that Buffalo is
that's their identity.
Want to pass the ball no matter what, bro.
If not, Allen's gonna run and fake the pass.
And that's what it is. He the number 1 RB over there. 100%. You know what I mean? So I love the Dawson Creek pick, bro. I swear to God, bro. Dawson was killing before he got hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was hurting him. They got one of the top 3 tight ends in the draft, picked Dawson up off the wire, and was able to ship one of the top 3 tight ends for a King's ransom because they had Dawson.
That's right.
That's like Baltimore. They drafted Hayden Hurst in the 1st and then got Andrews in like the 3rd, 4th round.
Right.
And then Andrews ended up becoming the dog. And they're like, hey, we'll shoot Hurst to Atlanta. Let them deal with him.
And now he's on his 3rd team in damn near 3-4 years.
Yep. Hey, honorable mention, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Especially with Amari Cooper.
Was killing.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. I like that. Bro. Hey, Albert, when you gonna do the show, bro?
Yeah, Albert got to get on here, man.
Next week, I'm trying my hardest. I'm not the most tech savvy. I'm trying to do a pre-NFL draft mock draft with 12 analysts. I'm trying to have 6 on the screen, and I'm trying to have the actual mock draft at 10 rounds, 30 seconds per pick, because we analysts and we should know what we're doing at this point. 8 to 10 rounds, whatever we can fit within an hour, like a little introduction to everyone. I'm trying to get it set up. Albert, if you want to be in that mock draft, hopefully next week, knock on wood, if I can get it done. I'm working with the network. I'm working with Corey. I'm working with Kyle. Shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. If you want in, Albert, you can get in because you don't miss an episode, not only for my show, but for all the shows.
Yeah.
You one of the real day ones. When they talk about day ones, it's a picture of Albert in the dictionary.
Hey, stamp.
That's our time, man.
That's what's up.
If Albert, I know you on IG. hopefully you already following the fantasy football big guy. But if you're not doing so already, please go follow my brother JD Guccini.
You know
At
it.
the Heart to Start family.
God,
Shout out to Kev. I know he's busy with the family.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah. You guys got anyone you want to plug? We wrapping it up.
Hey, like I said, it make it easy for y'all for a guy like me to talk fantasy football. I enjoy.
Hey, it's an hour already.
An hour already. I could go 2, but I love it though, man. Hey, much love.
That's it, man. Only motherfuckers that I'm gonna plug is shout out Fox, shout out to Big Guy, shout out to motherfucking KO, aka 7. You know what I mean? Other than that, man, you know, it is what it is, man. I thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I had a hell of a time. You know, it felt like 2 months ago when we was having these motherfucking beers on K Street, on J Street.
On J
You know what I mean? On everything. You know, for real, bro. You know,
shout out to the only black-owned pub on downtown Midtown. Shout out to Streets Pub.
Streets
Pub. Shout out to Thaddeus. There you go. Yeah, see y'all next Monday. Take care.
No doubt.